The biggest thing stopping your English fluency is not grammar, it's not vocabulary, it's not even English. Listening practice is something much deeper, something deep inside of you. Today, I'm going to share some ideas with one of the greatest thinker in human history. And the secret you learn will transform your English more than any course. Stay with me. This is different than any English video you have ever watched before. Okay, what's the problem, right? Okay, years of study, zero fluency. Still feel frustrated with your English speaking. I get it. When students come to me, they're all frustrated from years and years and years of study, but just can't speak naturally, fluently, conversationally, confidently, powerfully, right? They feel bad because they make the same mistakes and over, grammar mistake, pronunciation mistakes, getting confused about vocabulary. It's all very normal. And then you also compare yourself to other people. You see someone who speaks English better than you start feeling bad, or they speak fluently. Maybe at your job, other people get credit. Sometimes other people get credit for your ideas. You're in a meeting, you got a great idea. You kind of talked about it with people. But then in the meeting, your English is not good. You kind of shrink down. You become a mouse in English. You're a lion at home, but in English, you're a mouse. And then another people voice your idea or say your idea. Maybe your boss something. They get the credit. Common happens all the time. And so many people, maybe you, are perfectionists. And on one hand, that's good. You have high standard. You want to speak fluently. You want to be like the near native speaker. But that perfection, especially focused on perfect grammar, is also a trap that can kill your confidence. And grammar kills your speaking. It kills your fluency. This is the problem. And when I say that, I mean trying to memorize grammar rule and trying to be perfect all the time. And a lot of time, you hide, you shrink down. It's time to use English, and then you don't feel confident. You don't speak up. Or when you speak, you don't sound confident. It's all very common. And it has one root cause. And today, you're going to kind of deep topic. Really, it's a spiritual topic, and that deep cause is pride. Pride. It's not about grammar. It's not about vocabulary. It's not about method. Pride. Right? Because you say, I must not look bad. This is what you're thinking, right? Deep down, what's happening? I must not look bad. I must not appear weak. I must not fail, right? That's pride. That's pride. The opposite of pride is humility. Humility. And that's what we get into our great teacher, our great mind, our great philosopher, the Imam Al-Ghazali. Imam Al-Ghazali. Imam Al-Ghazali, I think all Muslims know him. Imam Al-Ghazali, a very famous Islamic scholar and writer and teacher. And he wrote extensively about Kibr. I'm probably pronounced that terribly, sorry. I'm very big, but pride. Pride is a disease. Pride as a disease. A disease affects us in all parts of our lives. And that this is a paradox, we call it in English. Paradox is a good vocab word. Paradox is when two opposite things seem to be true at the same time, or seem to be good at the same time. This is the paradox because on one hand, you want to feel strong and confident. When you speak English, you want to be a lion in English, not a mouse. But on the other hand, pride actually destroys your confidence, right? So we want confidence, but not pride. This is a deep topic. We need to think deeply about this and how we can develop confidence so you can speak confidently, be your best, be a lion in English, not a mouse. But to do that, we have to have humility. So just discuss the idea of Imam Al-Ghazali on this topic and how it actually connects to English learning in truth. It connects to all parts of your life. So I'm going to read a few things. You saw pride hides, you do not know you have it, right? You all think we're humble, but it's a little deep inside, little voices that pride comes from, that disguise itself as being high standard. We're being careful. I'm not ready yet. The root of that is pride. Because you don't want to look foolish, right? That's what it comes down to. I don't want to look bad. And Imam Al-Ghazali described the level of it's look foolish, right? That's what it all comes down to. I don't want to look bad. And Imam Al-Ghazali described levels of humility from kind of the first surface level, I'm humble, everybody kind of does that to be polite. But inside, we all have ego. We do. It's natural. It's human nature. Okay? Imam Al-Ghazali also taught that true knowledge, when you really, really, really understand what you have true knowledge, humility naturally comes, because the more you learn, the more you realize you're quite small. The more you learn, the more you realize your own limitations and weaknesses, and you have to accept them. And that's true humility. True humility. And by the way, Andrew Murray, one of my favorite Christian writers, wrote about this same idea. He said humility is not thinking less about yourself, not thinking I'm a horrible person, although that's true. You have to be honest about it and change it. He said it's just thinking of yourself less. So it's not focusing on yourself so much and me. Of course, both Imam Al-Ghazali and Andrew Murray taught and believed that the focus should be on God, on the highest, not on ourselves, always ourselves, me. That the desire to appear great in the eyes of others is the root of much human suffering. Much human suffering. True humility means being so focused on serving, on knowledge, on learning, that you forget about yourself, you forget about your image, you forget about how people view you because you are serving something higher. You're trying to contribute. You're focused on something higher, not yourself. Because when you forget about your image, you can relax. When you have true humility, you can relax. This connects very deeply to English. Because when you let go, you have real humility. I'm not perfect in English. I'll never be perfect. I'm not perfect. Me, AJ Ho, native speaker, English teacher over 30 years. I'm not perfect in English. I make mistakes. Sometimes when I'm speaking, maybe my confidence isn't great. I feel a little tired, right? You have to be honest about it and accept it. You're a human being. You will always be imperfect, not perfect. The more you accept that and develop this true inner humility, the more you can relax, and then when it's time to speak English, you just do your best, right? This is part of our code. We do the best we can. It's the second part of our code. We do the best we can. Not we're perfect. Not everybody think we're awesome. Not our grammar is perfect. No. We do the best we can, and we accept we make mistakes. We're not perfect. We will never be perfect. We will always make mistakes. And when you accept that and you relax, your communication, your English speaking ability actually becomes much, much better. The words will come out more because you're not constantly worrying and thinking and analyzing all the time. You just let it come out. It comes out a little bit badly, you don't care. You sound confident. You look confident, right? You do become an English speaking lion because you're always focused on pride, being perfect, worrying about what everybody else thinks, scared of making mistakes. It actually makes you into a mouse, right? Because you start, right? That's when you're feeling strong, you have great idea, but then it's time to communicate in English. Suddenly, you're a mouse. Not good. And the root of it is pride. We're getting deep today, okay? We're getting very philosophical. So here's some practical things to do to kill that pride and to develop real humility, which will actually improve your English speaking. Number one, speak English every day, even when you sound bad, especially when you sound bad. Do not let mistakes stop you from speaking English. Do not let your pride stop you from speaking English. Be here in Japan, where I am right now, I have this problem. Now, on one hand, the Japanese are incredibly focused on excellence, and I love that about the Japanese people. It's wonderful. But with English, I know that many of them actually have good amount of English. They actually won't try to speak, especially to someone like me, a native speaker. They see my face and they won't speak because they think they're not good enough yet. And that's just pride. Number two, make at least 5 mistakes every day on purpose. On purpose, just get it out and make the mistakes and just get used to being relaxed about it. Get used to just doing it loudly and let everybody hear your bad pronunciation. Let everybody hear your grammar mistakes. Get it out. Let go of that pride. 3, stop comparing yourself, especially to native speaker. That's the crazy, prideful comparison. You're comparing yourself to someone who learned English as a baby, from a baby, right? I'm 58 years old. I've been speaking English. Let's say the first year I wasn't speaking. So 57 years I've been speaking English fluently from when I was a baby. You can't compare yourself to, that's crazy. That's just pride killing your confidence. Don't do it. Don't compare yourself to native speaker. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Of course, you're gonna try to improve all this. Of course, you listen to me and try to copy me and do your best. Of course, but don't get upset if you don't speak exactly like me or Tony Robbins or something. Or that's just pride and crazy. It actually hurts your confidence and your speaking, right? It's same is true for people where you work at your job. Copy me and do your best, of course, but don't get upset because you don't speak exactly like me or like Tommy Rod or something. That's just your pride, and it's crazy. It hurts your confidence and your speaking, right? And the same is true for maybe when you work. If someone at your job speak English better than you do, okay, you're not helping yourself by comparing yourself to them and feeling bad because they're better speaker than you. Doesn't help, just pride. If someone does correct you, I hope they don't. Sometimes people will do it. Just say thank you. Okay, thanks, and let it go. Don't think about it constantly. Don't get upset. It's not a native speaker correcting you. Sometimes they're giving you bad advice. They're correcting you in the wrong way. I just did a video called Native Makes Mistakes. Natives break rules. We break grammar rules all the time. And sometimes I've heard English learners who maybe like intermediate level trying to correct my English, and it's crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. You're talking from a textbook, but that's not actually how we really speak. So someone corrects you, just say thanks and let it go. Don't think about it. And then every high-level person, someone who is maybe again someone at a job, someone who learn English as an adult and their speaking is amazing. Just realize they were like you. In the past, they were where you are now. Relax. So English is not a, don't think of this like some formula you have to master. It's not a set of rules, okay? It's a door. It's a tool that you use to communicate your ideas, okay? Humility opens that door. Be humble. All right. I want to read from The Alchemy of Happiness by Imam Al-Ghazali. So share my screen now with you. So this is very philosophical, very spiritual. We can connect it to English and to your life in general. Okay, so he wrote, a man should call himself strictly to account for his past actions. Now, this translation here in English is a bit formal, not a bit, very formal. So let me help you with the vocab. Call himself to account means you gotta judge yourself, basically. Be honest, right? A man should look at his past actions, or women, and when you did something bad, when you did something wrong, when you've been weak, when you've been sinful, in Al-Ghazali, Imam Al-Ghazali language, you should admit it, right? So often, again, pride, what do we do? We don't want to even admit that. You don't want to say, yeah, I'm bad, I made mistake, I did something wrong, I hurt someone, I was sinful, right? So first step is you gotta be honest. The first step in humility, true deep humility, is you must be honest with yourself, about yourself. Next sentence, every evening, so maybe before bed, he should examine his heart, right? You should look at your heart. You should look what you did at that day, and not only what you did, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Examine your heart as what he's done, to see whether he has gained or lost in his spiritual capital. So it's saying, look inside yourself and see, did you gain? Did you grow spiritually at the deepest level, or you lose? At the deepest level, or you lose. He's taking a very wide, deep view of life here. We're not talking about the surface. This is more than necessary at the heart. It's like a treacherous business partner, always ready to cajole, right? And deceive. So what he's saying is that he's saying the heart, or say our mind, our subconscious or unconscious, our pride, we're always trying to fool ourselves. The physicist Richard Feynman said that we are the easiest to fool. Meaning the easiest person to fool is yourself. The easiest person to lie to is yourself. We lie to ourselves all the time and try to make ourselves bigger and better than we really are. Then we're trying to forget about or ignore our weaknesses, our mistakes, our vices, right? The thing we do that are bad or sin, right? And then we kind of trying to blow up and make bigger the good things about ourselves. So you have to be careful. We have to be careful. So this is the heart, the unconscious mind is always ready to cajole and to see. Sometimes it's own selfish under the guise of obedience to God, so that a man supposes here is gained, whereas he has really lost. What he's saying here, we fool ourselves all the time. We do something bad, but then this is called rationalizing. To rationalize, good word in English. To rationalize when you do something bad, deep inside you know it's bad, but then you make a bunch of excuses in your mind to tell yourself that it was actually good. Or actually, I cheated someone, but it actually was okay, and you give a lot of reason, right? You're saying this is human nature, and it's human nature is true. And so sometimes, I was good, but in fact we were not. All right, let's go on to our next quote here from him. There we go. Okay. If a man find himself sluggish and averse, sluggish means lazy basically, and not self-disciplined, he should consort with one who is proficient in such practices to catch the contagion of his enthusiasm. I told this is kind of a very formal, somewhat difficult translation. I'll make it easier for you. Except you find yourself being lazy and you don't have self-discipline, right? Self-discipline is when you do what you know you must do. I want to do it. That can be something simple like I should be listening to English and studying it, but I don't want to, and I'll come up deeper and more spiritual. I live a virtuous life, but instead I'm not. So it's saying what you should do in that situation. He said you should consult with means you want to be around someone who has those qualities. So you can catch the enthusiasm, right? You're not self-disciplined. You want to be around people who are self-disciplined. Just by being around a lot of people who are self-disciplined, you will start to imitate them. You start to be more like them. Do not call this a peer group, P-E-E-R. This group you hang around. If you hang around a lot of lazy people, they will kind of start to pulling you down and you become more lazy. If you hang around a lot of sinful people, you're doing bad things, they're going to pull you down and you're going to become a more bad person, a worse person, right? So he said you need to choose who you're around, and you want to try to be around the best possible people. Just that can change your life completely. And then he said, if one cannot find such a pattern of austerity culture and pattern of austerity is again self-discipline and living a simple life. What if you don't have people like that around you? And that's what he's saying. It's a good thing to study the lives of the saints. This is the great thing in life, that even if you're surrounded by people who are lazy or just not great, well, guess what? We have through human history so many great thinkers and saints and great people. You can study their lives and in many cases read what they wrote. For example, this book, get it. In English, it's called The Alchemy of Happiness by Imam Al-Ghazali. In course, you can read scripture, you can read the lives of the saints, the writing of saints, of the very best people, the people that had the most self-discipline, who are the most virtuous, the most good. And by reading about their lives and reading what they wrote as a daily habit, they will start to pull you up. You start to become a better person and gain more self-discipline because of their influence. And indeed, you also gain great humility. When I read writing from great saints, great men, on one hand, I'm inspired to be better. And on the other hand, I feel humbled because I'm not even close to them people. You become more aware of your weaknesses, your imperfection, and that's a good thing. That's true humility. All right. And finally, to get to really the heart of it, shame upon the old soul for the overpowering love of the world. This is almost Shakespearean language. It's now how we speak now. So he's kind of talking to himself, right? If there should be a shame because we love this material world so much. We're so focused on money and things and this material world. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a sort of a pride. If thou does not believe in heaven or hell, or at any rate thou believes in death, we will snatch from thee all worldly delight. This is the core, extremely important principle in life. And you'll find this in most religious teaching. Is a maybe the major truth of our lives and how we're living. You're saying if you don't believe in heaven and hell, even if you're not religious, you're going to die. You know that. You all know that. When you die, all your worldly delights, all your successes, all your money, everything you gain in this life, gone. It's all gone. Right? And we don't want to think about it. We kind of know it. We know that, but we push it away. But he's saying you need to keep that deep, essentially spiritual mindset, perspective. Is that the truth? Now, Buddhists describe this and impermanence is one of the core teaching of Buddhism, Sanatana, the Dhamma, and of Christianity, and of course of Islam. It's as Imam Al-Ghazali is teaching it here. This is the truth. This is really the source of deep humility. When you realize it doesn't matter how great you are in this life, how powerful, how much money, how handsome or beautiful, you can achieve all those things. But if you live long enough, you're going to age and get old. And you're going to die. And all that disappear. And probably within, 30 to 50 years, maybe within just 1 year, you'll mostly be forgotten. Your family will remember you. But then, of course, they will die too. Certainly within a couple of generations, all memory of you is gone. Everything you achieved, gone. So don't forget this. When you really think about this and you spend time daily thinking about this, it changes your perspective. Suddenly, your little English mistakes are not a big deal, are they? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Certainly work to be better because that gives you self-discipline and you can contribute to your family and you have this higher reason you want to use English to make your life and hopefully the lives of others better, especially your families. But never forget that. And this is why those thousands matter the world. Why are you so focused on all this when you're forgetting this big truth? And amen to that, I'd say. This is the core, right? This is core of deep humility. Never getting this key, essential point. And to bring it back to English again, this kind of humility. At first, I might be depressing sometimes. People think this is depressing to think about, but it's the truth. Hiding from the truth do not lead you to anything good. It's the truth. We must never forget this in any moment. And when we remember, then we do develop that humility. It's called perspective. It's how you see things. And perspective kind of help you decide what is important, what is big, and what is small, right? And we have this very short, material, prideful view. It's like we look at through a little tunnel, a little telescope or microscope, really. And so something that is actually quite small seems huge, super big, right? Like, my English is not good enough yet, right? You look through this microscope, you get all worried and upset about it, right? That's looking through a microscope. That's no perspective. You're not seeing anything outside that. It's killing your confidence and making you crazy. But when you take a big, wider view, like Imam Al-Ghazali is teaching here, right? Now you realize, okay, your English is important. You're trying to improve it, but it's like this is small compared to that big truth of eternal truth, of the truth of life and death. If you are spiritual or religious, the truth of what comes after death and that eternal life. That's huge. So your English, is very tiny compared to that. It's fine to improve your English. You do want to improve. You want to be a lion in English, not a mouse. But keep humility. Keep this wide perspective. And as I said, the truth is that it actually gives you more confidence. And I'm speaking from my own experience in life, is that the more I have become spiritual and have the wider perspective, and something that happens naturally for most people as they get older. On one hand, I'm much more humble, right? I have much more humility. I realize how small I am, how weak I am, how small all my little material desire and goal and problems are. They're tiny. But what's interesting is realizing that at the deep level and realizing that emotionally too, that actually has increased my confidence, because now it's not so important. I don't need to worry about it so much, do I? I can just relax and do my best. Just relax and do my best. When I relax and do my best, and when I'm relaxed and do my best, I'm more confident. I perform better in whatever I'm doing. I enjoy it more. And I actually do better and improve faster. So that's the paradox I was talking about at the beginning, right? That deeper humility, it could just somewhere makes us feel smaller naturally. It's only in this life we're living now, in our concerns, gives us actually a very, very deep confidence. This is deep confidence, okay? This is the root of true, real, deep confidence. It's humility. I teach you a lot of techniques for, I would say, more surface confidence, right? So peak emotional state and anchoring in NLP techniques and all these different techniques, using your mind, imagining, visualizing goals, all that's fine. You have to realize it's only about that big, really. Okay? All that will help you in the moment when you need it. You got a job interview, you got a speech. You can use all the techniques that I'm teaching you in those moments, and you should use them. Use them. But long term, for true deep confidence in English speaking and in all parts of your life, you need this. You need to develop this deep humility and a spiritual perspective. And that's how you go from being a mouse in English to being a lion. All right. That's it for today. It was kind of late today. Maybe my energy is a little bit lower. You think that? But the key thing is that I put it out. Even though it's not perfect, I just put it out there. Right? That's the key thing. And I'm happy that I made it another day. Another step closer to our goal of speaking better English. Thank you so much for joining. And as usual, see you tomorrow.